Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome to Adam McKola TV. I am Adam, and as you can see below my big head, Astana have beaten Manchester United 2-1. But I say Hakuna Astana. It means no worries, because tonight it wasn't all that bad. We saw the youngest Manchester United team ever take play in a European competition. The youngest ever, 7 debutants playing. One of them was 36-year-old Lee Grant, but 6 of them came through the academy. Some of the other players that have already made their debut but played today: Axel Twanzebe, James Garner, Tahith Chong, Angel Gomez, Mason Greenwood. Those were the other players involved. It was a really young Manchester United side. And despite the fact it was a missed opportunity, despite the fact they will have plenty of regrets about today's game, despite the fact I feel like they could have went for it a little bit more, and despite the fact it was a tough lesson tonight out there in Kazakhstan, I feel like it's not all that bad. And to some of those people, some of those muppets running around talking about Ollie out, Tahith Chong should never see the club ever again, not fit to wear the shirt. You're all fucking idiots. Let's be real. You're all fucking idiots. Did you watch the same game that I watched? It was a dead rubber in Kazakhstan after Manchester United have already qualified. And we played the youngest team ever. Look at that team sheet. It resembles an under-23 side, plus Lee Grant, plus Luke Shaw, and plus Jesse Lingard. Can you really come out and start complaining after that? Really? Complaint to Tahith Chong. How the hell are you missing an open goal like that? I couldn't quite believe my eyes. United, how are you not scoring more than 1 in that game? Because quite frankly, that first half we should have had 2-3. It was open for us. And after that we had the opportunities. Even at 2-1 down we had the opportunities. But to be really getting angry and complaining about this, it just shows what people like, what people are like these days. It don't make sense. Twitter's got people gassed up. Idiots on YouTube have got people gassed up. Just calm down. Relax yourself. It's not all that bad. Yes, bigger picture things. There are things to worry about. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the man for the longer term? Have we got a strong enough squad? Will the Ed Woodward and Glazers ever fuck off? If not, will they invest properly into the team and help United get back to the level? There are bigger picture issues. Of course there are. I'm not saying there aren't. But if you watch this 90 minutes today and you were angry about that, you're a fucking idiot. And that is the kindest way I can put it. That is the kindest way I can put it. Seriously, it don't make any other sense. It don't make sense. I remember as a kid being heartbroken watching a very young United side get beat 3-0 by York City in the Coca-Cola Cup. I was heartbroken then. I was probably angry as well. But I was also like 7. That's how people on Twitter and that are these days. They're all 7-8-year-olds with mobile phones. Relax. Anyway, let's get stuck into some conversation. David Jones, thank you for joining us in the comments today. Erica, thank you for joining us. Shoot Neutrality, thank you for joining us. Zach Lanzari says, what do you expect, man? Glenn, thank you for joining us again. Rishab, Mo, thank you all for joining us again here on Adam McKola TV. Absolute delight to have you watching the show with us today. Manchester United have, of course, lost in Astana. In the terms of the group, when you're looking at the group, you've got to say it's not ideal, because AZ Alkmaar now have opportunity to go ahead of us in the group. We play AZ Alkmaar on the final day of the group stages, and we play AZ Alkmaar on the final day. But the thing is, if they get a draw... Oh, Partizan are beating Alkmaar. Partizan are beating Alkmaar 2-0 as we speak. So United are still top of the group. So a draw at Old Trafford against Alkmaar, if it stays the same with Alkmaar losing, would mean we finish top of the group. So that's a good one. Am I proud of how the team played today? Where in what I said did I say I was proud about that? From what all of the things that I just said, which one did you pull out and say, oh, Adam said he's proud of that today? I didn't, did I? But you perspective, for fuck's sake. You've got to. And actually, I am proud of Ethan Laird's performance. Thought Ethan Laird did very well at right back today. James Garner, Dylan Levitt didn't do too shabby at all. Deshaun Bernard, I'm gutted for him that own goal went in. It was unlucky, but he didn't do too badly there. So I am proud of them lads. Made their debuts today, and they didn't do too badly. I think as a team, as a cohesive unit we did, and it felt at times like we got too excited and too carried away, and we thought, oh, we can get 2, 3, 4 goals here, and we were just rushing everything, and players were getting to the edge of the box shooting, it was getting blocked when we could have maybe opted to play someone in it. But that's the thing, it's a tough lesson that you've got to learn. They've got to learn these tough lessons of playing in men's football, in playing in competitive football, in playing against teams that are coming up against Manchester United and treating that game like a cup final. This is massive for those Astana players, the Astana fans. Kazakhstan as a country, one of their teams have beaten Manchester United, and that's a lesson that these lads have got to learn as well. When you're playing in these games, all these players are coming up against Manchester United. They're playing the badge, they're not playing the team. They're not thinking, oh, it's a young team, we'll go easy today. They're playing against the badge, and you've got to play for the badge consistently, commitment, not taking the piss, not being unprofessional. And by that I mean shooting when, if it was 0-0, you'd pass. That to me is unprofessional, and that's something you've got to learn. You know, being clinical with your passes, being clinical, shooting at the right times. You've got to learn that. Hammer says, why has Ole got the backing from United legends and the board, but United are in a worse position? The board, they didn't back him in the summer. They were the same shit board they've been for any manager in the summer. And we know if Ole has a run, if we lose against Spurs, if we lose against Man City, and then we lose a game after that, they'll probably sack him. So I don't think he's got the backing of the board. United legends, obviously he's their teammate. They're going to be different to him. But I also think some people are looking at this season in a different perspective to last season, because, I don't know if you've noticed, we sold Lukaku, got rid of Alexis Sanchez, Nemanja Matic is no longer being used by Manchester United. You know, Ander Herrera left, Marouane Fellaini left. We've got a thin midfield. Paul Pogba hasn't been fit at all. Anthony Martial's been injured for most of the season. You look at the team, it's not the same team. So when people say, oh, Jose got this team second space. No, he didn't. Because it's not the same fucking team. But also, I say that to say this. Ole deserves some criticism. You know, it's been the worst start in 30 years. Winning games, we've been winning a lot of games. And it's been game management, tactical decisions, substitutions that haven't affected the game, or have affected the game in a negative impact, that have seen us lose points. We've lost too many points from winning positions, and we should be getting better results. But also you have to take it into the perspective of what he is also playing with as well. Like I've always said, I don't think Ole is the man. I don't think that. But you have to give him as much time and as much support as you would give anybody else. It's that simple. Do you think Chong and Gomez needs to go on loan? I think them playing every week in a league like Portugal or Holland would help their development. I do think Tahith Chong needs to go out on loan, yes. Today has nothing to do with Ole. Says shoot neutrality, continuing with that. The board didn't back him in the summer. Mate, are you on crack? We sold a striker and a midfielder and we didn't replace them. How daft must you be? I also said the same about Jose, so don't be thinking, oh, Adam, you didn't say this. Yes, I did. Swear to God, some of you are idiots, man. You can't realise that there are layers of different contexts of different things. And like, if you say one thing, it doesn't mean you automatically mean another. If I say something which defends Ole, it doesn't mean I'm using that against Joe. Like, Anyway, you're talking about the league there today was about the future. Glenn says, I don't think Ole is the man, but he's safe for at least a year. I don't think he's safe for at least a year at all. And I don't think any manager should be. Because a lot can happen in a year. Zach says, that's quite hypocritical. On one sentence, you're saying Ole isn't the man. And on another sentence, you're saying give him time. Because ultimately, my opinion means nothing in the grand scheme of things. I've been right about things, I've been wrong about things. So what does I might think, I thought Scott McTominay shouldn't have played for United last season. But he's proven me wrong, and he's shown that he's worthy of being in the Manchester United squad. So in the grand scheme of things, my opinion doesn't, you know what I mean? If I think Ole's not the man, that's my gut feeling. But like any manager, whether it was Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, I gave him time. You still don't understand. Ole was back, Mourinho was back. Mate, we spent about 50-60 million pounds in the summer. And I don't know why we're talking about this, because today's game, yeah, 2-1 we lost. I think there were positives, but mainly negative, because the lads ultimately didn't take their chance. Now we're going to go to player ratings, which are coming right up. These are them. Grant 5, Laird 7, Deschamps Bernard Tuanzebe 6, Shaw 5, Levitt Garner 6, Chung 5, Gomez 6, Lingard 6, Greenwood 6. Mella, Ramazani and Galbraith had about half an hour between them. When I start watching a game, everyone starts on a 6, so I just left them as it was. Solskjaer a 5. So that was my player ratings for the game, or those are my player ratings for the game rather. What are your player ratings? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Let us know in those comments below. Like I said, Lee Grant 5 didn't have much to do apart from pick the ball out of the net with what he had to do. Probably could have saved it. Laird 7. I thought he was our best player on the day. He got my man of the match. Bernard probably would have got a 7. Obviously when you score an own goal it drops a bit, but I didn't think his overall performance was bad. Axel Tuanzebe, the same with that. I don't think his performance was bad at all. You know, we didn't win the game. You're not going to give someone a 7 or an 8. I know Laird got a 7, but thought he was our best player. Luke Shaw a 5, thought defensively sloppy, made a few mistakes. Give him a 5. Levitt and Garner a 6. I thought they did okay, which is what a 6 to me is. Chung a 5. Look, headless chicken at times, running into dead ends at times. Should have scored that goal. He would have probably got a 6 for me. The open goal knocked it down a little bit. But that's what I'm going with. Gomez, Lingard, Greenwood got a 6. Greenwood, that's probably polite, but I thought he had a few opportunities. He drew a great save from the goalkeeper as well. Gomez, he came into his own a little bit in the second half, latter 15-20 minutes particularly, but give him a 6. Lingard got a 6 from me as well. Like I said with Mella, Ramazani, Galbraith, can't say too much based on their performances. Solskjaer got a 5. Look, we lost the game ultimately, but I do think he deserves some credit for actually leaving everyone at home and taking an under-23 side of Nicky Butt plus Lee Grant and Jesse Lingard and Luke Shaw. So overall, I'm not too bothered with that. Man of the match, Ethan Laird. Some of you are saying that I've been kind to Chung. I'd give Gomez a 6.5. He looked dangerous in the second half, says Gov Bandicoot. I think Levitt and Garner were good on the ball. They were playing passes and keeping possession a little bit too deep though, says Southern. Levitt looks good as well, says Calvin. Levitt a 7 as well, says Glenn. I wouldn't be totally against that. James Garner was honestly a joy to watch. Levitt too, says Alexis. Yeah. So those are some of your comments. Get your super chats, your comments, your super stickers, all that good stuff in here on Adam McKola TV. Remember, we're live for another couple of minutes, taking some of your questions and taking some of your comments as well. Chung got a lot of hate, and the Miss did not help, says Tony. Hate is weird. Find it weird when people really get malicious with their criticism based on a football game. It's like he called you all cunts and did a Granit Xhaka or something. He didn't. He just played bad. You can say he played bad without going over the top and two-footing him. Of course we need our full squad on Sunday, John, and we will have our full squad on Sunday. Do I want to see the same team against AZ Alkmaar at Old Trafford, says Southern. I'd probably play Romero in goal. Play possibly, yeah. I'd play Laird. I wouldn't be upset with seeing Deschamps, Bernard and Twanzebe, or Levitt and Garner. So I wouldn't be totally against it, but I would maybe possibly see someone like, because you could still play a Gomez, Lingard, Greenwood front three and put an extra one in midfield, like a McTominay or something. So I wouldn't be against these lads playing again, which is what your question was. I'm not sure if it'd be exact same 11 though. I'd probably go with Romero or David in goal. So what is a top priority for January signing now? It says Dimensions. One top priority I couldn't say, because I feel like we need a midfielder as much as we need a striker. Because you'd argue when we play our strongest 11, our midfield still isn't strong enough, whereas our front line is probably stronger than our midfield. So possibly a midfielder, but midfielder and someone's playing that front line, definitely. And then you could also strengthen the back a little bit as well. Let's not forget there's pressure on them out there, and that's what it was all about, the boys versus the men. A lot of pressures, a lot of different things to deal with. Artificial pitch, the weather, European football, playing against a team that is treating it like a cup final. Men's football, completely different to under 23s. A lot of different adjustments, the mentality as well of having to adjust to playing for the Manchester United first team, where all these millions and millions and millions of eyes are on you. It's a different ball game. I thought most of them did all right with it today, but I think they'll be feeling like that's a little bit of a missed opportunity, and maybe we should have did a little bit more with it. We definitely should have got at least a point out of that game. Disappointed to see us lose. No one thought we were getting a rival to Virgil van Dijk either. I like Maguire and I don't care about the price, says Jacob. Today Sancho hits out a Dortmund fan. I think he could be available in January, says Southern. I'd love to get Jadon Sancho at Manchester United, and if you haven't seen it yet, we discussed Jadon Sancho, James Maddison, Erling Haaland, a few other players, myself, Bolt and Scribs did a video on this channel which is already up, talking about our dream January transfer signings for Manchester United, so go and check that out after we're finished here. We also did the sack race as well, a video on the Premier League sack race, and a few other things. The podcast is at the United Road podcast as well. The Champion, thank you for your comments. Would you like to see Haaland for next year? I wouldn't be against that at all. Leicester held out for a large fee, says Jacob. They did hold out for a large fee, hoping we can get James Maddison off them as well. Would I take Aubameyang? I was listening to the radio the other day, Ross, and there was a lot of talk about Aubameyang's future, and then it moved on to, oh, would you take him at United? And there was nothing serious in the link, so it's not an in-the-know thing, but of course you would. An experienced goal scorer, you'd take him. He can play out wide on the right or the left as well. So of course I would take him in the team. I wouldn't be against signing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at all. Sorry about that, guys. My brother's just come in from work, gone through the room, as you do, not realising that I was live. But anyway, that has been the live reaction stream. Thank you for tuning in to Adam McKola TV. Make sure you liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. The player ratings are there. Let us know your player ratings in the comments below. And of course, as well, make sure you're getting your thoughts in on that game. Jesse Lingard back in the goals. Ethan Laird was my man of the match and the youngest Manchester United side to ever take the field in a European game. It has been a good night for Manchester United, despite the defeat, I think, in terms of a proud night rather. Not a good night, a proud. It's not been a good night. We should have won the game, but it's been a proud night for the boys tonight. And I think Ethan Laird was man of the match. but it's a bit of frustration in there as well. And those boys will be finding it difficult to sleep tonight, because United definitely, Chung will be reliving that open goal miss over and over and over. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in to Adam McKola TV. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And for now, I'm out of here.